How's it going, everyone? So the Packers are continuing to make some moves, and just before the start of the new NFL year on March 11th, the Packers have re-signed one of their own. So it is being reported by Jeremy Fowler that the Packers are re-signing center, or I guess guard slash center, Sean Rhyan to a 3-year deal worth $33 million, but could go up to $39 million. So about an average out of $11 million per year. And it looks like they're kind of shoring up that center. Doesn't seem like a bad signing initially, but when kind of looking a little bit more deep into it, he would be a top 10 paid center. I don't think he played like a top 10 center. Granted, he did kind of just get shifted over to center after Elton Jenkins went down. And I thought he played a lot better than Jenkins. We thought Jenkins would probably be an all-star Pro Bowler at center, and that wasn't the case. Jenkins went down, Sean Rhyan came in relief, and I thought he played better than Jenkins. Granted, our run game was still pretty terrible, but it seemed like it solidified the line a little bit more, but it's hard to say if that's because of his move to center, Aaron Banks getting healthier, Jordan Morgan kind of playing. It's hard to say. And so if we're to kind of just look at the numbers per PFF, he was ranked, according to them, as the 28th best ranked center among players that played at least 500 snaps. There were only 34 players that played 500 plus snaps at center, so he is pretty bottom at the barrel in that instance. He was the 17th best run blocker per PFF out of centers, but he was dead last at 34th best pass blocker according to PFF. So kind of shaky, especially considering we're going to pay him $11 million per year on average. But also looking at it, the fact that Jenkins, was pretty much a certain wasn't going to come back, and this I feel like kind of definitely closes the door on Elton Jenkins this year, or at least for his contract, he would have been paid average of $17 million per year. So it's definitely a lower cost contract. And also, when we do release Jenkins this year, it would free up about $19 million in cap space, considering he was going to be hitting us with a $24 million cap hit. So yes, he's not a top 10 center in Sean Rhyan, but it looks like we're getting a player that performed better than Jenkins. We're not going to be super desperate in trying to find another center in possibly free agency, especially with how things keep going. This contract could not exactly be a steal, but it could be better in the long run because it looks like center contracts are kind of increasing and increasing. And then also, this kind of helps the fact that we're not going to go potentially into the draft if we don't get anyone in free agency with no center, and our offensive line, which was already suspect last year, being even more suspect. And so with the signing of Sean Rhyan, it looks like our line is mostly set looking at it because, of course, Elton Jenkins is probably not coming back. Rasheed Walker is hitting free agency. I highly doubt he'll be coming back. So Jordan Morgan will probably take over that left tackle spot. Then at left guard, Aaron Banks, as of right now, has that spot unless the Packers decide to do something there. Then, of course, center, Sean Rhyan. Right guard is where it becomes a little interesting. It's probably going to be Anthony Belton at this current time. Then at right tackle, of course, we have Zach Tom. So for the most part, we have the line figured out. But then we're going to have to try to get some depth pieces. And I'm sure the Packers are going to go into the draft some offensive linemen because the depth's not really there because after you have Jordan Morgan, you have Darian Kennard. Behind Aaron Banks, you have Donovan Jennings and Lecitus Smith. Then behind Sean Rhyan, you'll only have Jacob Monk, who hasn't really done anything, and it feels like the team doesn't really trust him, and it seems like he's not going to be playing at all for us in the future. Then at right guard, with Anthony Belton going up to starter, you have John Williams as his backup, and then at right tackle, you just have Travis Glover. So there's not really much depth there, so Packers are most likely going to go for offensive lineman in the draft because God forbid something happens to the offensive line as we saw last year and in previous years, we're going to need some depth. Now, lastly, it's only been reported that it's a 3-year, $33 million. No idea of how the cap structure is going to be. We're probably already over in cap space, so I can see this move making us even more over in cap space. I don't see how we would get under. So expect more moves in the coming of days, considering right around the corner is the start of the NFL New Year, where we do have to be cap compliant. So they're going to have to make a move to get back under the cap. But let me know what you think down in the comments. If you liked the video, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and as always, go Pack Go.